Let's look at the Cardinals right now. And you posed this question in the pre-show meeting. It's very simple and yet complex at the same time.
Thank you.
How are you going to remember the 2023 Arizona Cardinals? Because they are now a thing of the past.
Yeah. Let's start with you because honestly, I'm tired of listening to me.
Oh, okay.
On this one right here.
Right.
So I did a lot of talking in the pre-show meeting, ladies and gentlemen. And
did?
typically, I don't do a lot of talking. I don't because Luke and Mel are so really, really good at planning the show and doing it. Planning is not good. Me and planning does not go well, basically.
It did today. Wolf came in with like a...
Well, I couldn't shut up.
You basically had your own
meeting.
show sheet.
I know.
You're like,
ridiculous.
Here's 4 different versions of the show sheet I made last night.
So
you pick.
Let's start with you, Luke Lipinski.
Okay.
You tell me, how are you going to remember this 2023 season for the Arizona Cardinals?
At least right now. And I think I'm pretty confident that this, will stay consistent. I'm going to remember it for the culture shift. Because that was my biggest just takeaway from last season. And you and I were out there every Monday last season doing the show, and we had Cliff Kingsbury on every Monday. And, we were out there in training camp before last season, and it was just such a different feeling, honestly, Wolf, by OTAs of this year. And again, I don't think it was all Cliff. There was a lot of stuff that was going on and going wrong last year. There was a lot of stuff. But you could already tell, you could already sense, and players were telling us, we're not like detectives, players were telling us in June and July, this is different. I want to be accountable. Remember the story with Zaven Collins? He's like, they called me out because I was eating during one of the team meetings. Or even Myjai Sanders, when he was on the team, he was like, I wasn't wearing Cardinals issued stuff, and they called me out. And every player we talked to on and off the air liked it. And they were like, no, this isn't over the top. We needed this. And that carried into the season. Yes, I know they only won 4 games, but anybody that watched the Cardinals a year ago and then watched the Cardinals this past season knows it was different. And that's the biggest thing to me. That's the story of the season.
It is an excellent point. It really is, Luke. It is well done by you because culture, basically, it breeds context. That's what it is. It is context. And inside that context is a paradigm. And, of course, every individual on the football team has got to enter that paradigm and contribute to the context of the season, which is culture. It's what culture does. I want to get a little bit more specific because I love what you said about that and culture. It's a great observation. But for me, culture produces as well. And sometimes it produces players. I think I'm going to remember 2023 as a year that Kyler Murray truly became a franchise quarterback. Truly became a franchise quarterback. Yes, Luke, I called him a franchise quarterback. When was that? It was season 3?
October 4th of 2021.
First of all, wait a minute. How do you have that date memorized?
Okay, so this is how deep do you want to go? Everything in my life I remember based on sporting events. That's just the way it is. I remember. But this, I know you said it after they beat the Rams when they were 4-0, that season where they started 10-2. I remember it was, they finally beat the Rams, and I remember you said it on that Monday's show. And that was October 4th of 2021.
Listen to this guy. Are you also standing in my living room at night?
I'm just taking notes. No big deal.
Okay.
You're out of butter, by the way. I was going through your fridge, and you need to get some shopping to do.
Okay, honestly, I feel like I was premature, Basinonians, and that was year 3. You got to remember, that was year 3 for Kyler Murray. It was year 3. Now, it was early in year 3, but that's how long. Listen, you've got to prove that you're our franchise quarterback. You have to. And yet, I did not see Kyler Murray having to evolve to the point that he did in terms of playing under center. Now that I'm seeing Kyler Murray play from under center, now that I'm listening to Kyler Murray in a new paradigm, in a new culture, with that new contrast and that context that he's playing in, it's clear to me he has grown tremendously. And I think now, this is the year I'm going to remember that Kyler Murray became a true franchise quarterback. 2023. Man.
That's interesting because you were talking about the offense needing to evolve even back then. I mean, this is where I'll give you credit.
True.
That team started 10-2. Is that right? 10-1? Either I don't remember the exact.
10-2.
Yeah. And even then
7-0, 10-2.
7-0, and then AJ Green didn't turn around, and then okay, but so 10-2, and through all that you were like, yeah, but I mean, if you want to keep this going, you gotta be able to put Kyler under center. All the things you've been saying that have been proven right, I will say, over the last couple months. You were saying more than just the last couple months. You were saying them when the Cardinals were doing really well. And I don't know why I'm giving you credit. Maybe it's because you produced half the show today, so I really just kind of get to sit back and talk. It's great.
It is, though. It was a situation where, again, Kyler Murray, I think, looking at the success that he was having on the field, if you go back and you look at it, the year 2, of course, he was a Pro Bowler. Year 3, he was a Pro Bowler. And everyone goes, well, the Pro Bowl and all these guys. It wasn't like he was not getting voted in. He was getting voted in. And by the way, players and coaches vote for that as well.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, they let fans, of course, vote as well. But players and coaches still have a big say into whether or not a guy goes.
This isn't like the NBA where fans have decided Devin Booker's not one of the top 40 players in the NBA
right,
based
exactly.
on the voting. Okay.
No, it's not like that. Okay. So once again, I think I was premature, Basinonians. I'd like to recant on that. I think I was premature. Certainly, time has proven that. Premature on Kyler Murray being a franchise quarterback now that I've seen what he's been able to do. Putting him under center. Growing that part of him, evolving him and his game, and evolving this offense in the process. And not only that, there's the leadership issue, and there's him evolving as a person as well. You can just see it, and you can hear it. And from what I'm told over there by guys, it's legit.
You know, we got to hit the break. This raises so many other questions. I'm sure we can talk about them throughout the offseason, but it's like, would he have gotten on this track if they hadn't switched coaches or an entire coaching staff?
I wonder.
If they hadn't gone through just the disaster of a season last year, if they hadn't switched GMs, which he's sort of referenced in the past a week or so, like how great it is to have that and to feel how much Monty Austin-Fort cares. I mean, I hate to say this, but how much of this is because he fought through that injury too? You know, I mean, it was a brutal 12 months for Kyler Murray.
Yes.
I give him all the credit in the world for coming out of the other side of it stronger. That's what it looks like right now, at least.
And you know what? I give Michael Bidwell an awful lot of credit for actually cutting a lot of salary.
Yeah.
That was a lot of salary with Steve Keim, of course. You just signed him to a contract. Cliff Kingsbury, he cut a lot of... I mean, he walked away and paid an awful lot. I give him a lot of credit for that.
Otherwise, even if Kyler was evolving, this would still feel mostly the same this year.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.